A very good day, my dear students. See, in the last class we dealt about the chapter photosynthesis. Now in the photosynthesis we had learned what is photosynthesis, the importance of photosynthesis, the structure of chloroplast, the process or the mechanism of photosynthesis. Then the next class we had gone about the factors affecting photosynthesis and the adaptation of leaf for photosynthesis and the various experiments connecting to photosynthesis, and then we also learned about the structure of leaf, where exactly the chloroplast is located. Then lastly we dealt about that carbon cycle. Then we also dealt about the starch test and destarching, as that the before every experiment destarching is done, and after every experiment starch test is being performed. Okay, now that is about the photosynthesis. Now I had told in the first class that after completing the chapter on absorption of water by roots and transpiration, I will deal with opening and closing of stomata. So today we learn about the fifth chapter, that is your absorption of water by roots, the process involved. Now that is the chapter, that is the fourth chapter or the fifth chapter, that is your absorption by root and the process involved. Now what the syllabus on this chapter tells about, what exactly you should learn. Now first, that is absorption by roots. Second, imbibition. We will be learning how the root is absorbing water and mineral. Then we will also learn the different mechanism, that is your imbibition, diffusion and osmosis. There are so many other subtopics are there, we will deal that. Then we also will learn about the osmotic pressure, turgidity, flaccidity, plasmolysis, deplasmolysis, active transport, passive transport, and the rise of water up to the xylem. Now this is what is in the syllabus. I repeat, in the syllabus, in the chapter absorption by roots, you have absorption in general. We will learn in general about the absorption of water by roots, then the various mechanisms used to absorb water, that is your imbibition, diffusion, osmosis, osmotic pressure, turgidity, flaccidity, plasmolysis, deplasmolysis, active and passive transport, the rise of water up to the xylem. So this is what we will be learning in this chapter, what is in the syllabus for you. Okay, and the scope of syllabus you have down below. When you listen to the chapter, please go through the scope of syllabus too. The first point, why do we need water and mineral for plants? Now before that, let me tell you, the entire absorption of water and mineral is done by the roots. Besides, the main function of the root is to fix a plant in the soil. Besides that, it has another very important function, that is absorption of water and mineral by the roots. So which means the roots have got two functions. Number one, to fix the plant in soil. Number two, to absorb water and mineral for the plants. Okay. Now that is why we need, that is second. What is other purposes? Now we need water and mineral for different functions. The plant grows, the plant gives flowers, the plant gives fruits, and the plant gives seeds. You know, the various activities are happening in the plant. So the plant needs water and mineral for various purposes. Number one, for transportation of the prepared food by the leaves to different parts of the plant, as well as the transportation of various mineral ions, water as well as mineral ions to different parts of the plant, for transportation of salts for different parts of the plant. So for which means transportation, it may be prepared food, it may be salts, it may be mineral ions for various metabolic activities. Now all these substances are transported through the medium, that is water, which is absorbed by the plant. Then water is also released at the time of transpiration. We have learned in the smaller classes, transpiration is nothing but loss of water in the form of water vapor by the aerial part of the plant is called transpiration. So which means the excess of water is lost during transpiration, and transpiration has to take place in order to enhance the absorption of water as well as translocation or ascent of sap or in order to create a kind of a suction force which is called the transpiration pull. Okay. Then the water is also used for photosynthesis. The last chapter we learned one of the important raw materials needed for photosynthesis is water. So, water is needed for transportation, water is needed for transpiration, water is used and lost in the form of water vapor. Okay. Then water is also used in photosynthesis. Another important function of water is it creates rigidity or stiffness to the plant. Imagine a plant that does not have water, it dries, okay, it droops, whereas early morning look at the plants, it is full of water, full rigid in nature. It is because of lot of water is present in the plant. So, thus the water creates stiffness or rigidity to the plants. I repeat children, why do we need water and mineral for the plants? Number 1, for transportation or translocation. Number 2, for transpiration. Number 3, one of the raw materials needed for photosynthesis is your water. Number 4, it brings about stiffness to the plants. The presence of water brings about stiffness to the plants. So, these are the 4 main reasons why the plants need, or mainly not to be, here it should be plant. Why do plants need? Plants need water and mineral, or why do we need, that also is fine. Why do we need water and minerals? It is fine because down below there is plants to say. So, why do we need water and minerals for the plants? The next one is, so we dealt 2 points. Number 1, what is the function of the root? Root fixes the plant in soil. Root absorbs water and mineral which is needed for various functional activity of the plant. Point number 1. Then next point is, then we learned what is the function of the water and mineral. Why do we need water and mineral? These are the 4 functions: transportation, transpiration and raw materials needed. Water is one of the raw materials needed for photosynthesis. Then it also brings about stiffness to the plants. The next point we will deal is the characteristics of root for absorption of water, meaning what is the characteristics of water, the root, not water, the root, which brings about the efficiency in the absorption of water. Imagine such a tall banyan tree or tamarind tree, mango tree, okay, even coconut tree. The water is being supplied by the root which is absorbed from the soil. So, what is it that makes the root so efficient to absorb water and mineral from the soil? Number 1, large surface area. You know, the water is absorbed by root hair. Water is absorbed by root hair. Now, what is root hair? Root hair is nothing but the extension of the epidermal cells or the epiblema. Remember children, the extension of root is called the extension of epidermis of the root is called your root hair. I repeat, the extension of the epidermis of the root is called root hair. So, this is the root hair, okay. This is the root hair, and what is it? You see, it is not a separate cell, it is only an extension of the epidermal cells which is otherwise called the epidermal cells of the root is also called epiblema. So, in the examination if they ask you what is root hair, the extension of the epiblema is called root hair. So, this is the root hair. Remember, it is not a separate cell, it is in connection, it is extended from or elongated from the epidermal cells of the root, and that is your root hair. You know, if you pluck a simple grass, you just uproot a grass or uproot a simple balsam plants, okay, you will see thousands and millions of root in it. And normally the root hair has, there are 2 types of root. You must have learned in the smaller classes, the taproot and fibrous root. The taproot normally has got your primary root, secondary root, tertiary root, and they have thousands and thousands of root hair. I repeat, the roots have got normally the taproot. Let us take the taproot. The taproot will have a secondary root, okay. Then the secondary root will have your, this is your primary root, tertiary root, secondary root, tertiary root, and all of them will have thousands and thousands of root hair. Okay, it's like that. All of them will have thousands and thousands of root hair. The root, if you take a taproot, it has got secondary root, tertiary root, etc. Primary root, secondary root, tertiary root as I drawn over there, and all of them have got thousands and thousands and even millions of root hair. So if you put all the millions of root hairs together, it covers kilometers, many kilometers. So thus, due to the presence of numerous or thousands of root hair in the root, the area covered by for absorption of water is large. So thus the root hair, one of the reasons for root being able to be efficient in absorbing water is large surface area provided by the root hair for absorbing water and mineral. Point number 2, the concentration of cell sap. In the first chapter I had taught about, the cell, the vacuoles, you have got the living part of the cell and non-living part of the cell. The living part of the cell is all your organelles, and the non-living part of the cell is your, if you remember in the first chapter I told, you have got the cell membrane, cytoplasm, you have the, in case of plant cell you have the cell wall, then cytoplasm, nucleus, then you have plenty of organelles. Then in case of the non-living parts you also have got a thing called vacuoles. Now inside the vacuoles you have the cell sap. I repeat children, the cell, each plant cell has got a large vacuole inside which you have the cell sap. Cell sap is nothing but fluid like structure present inside the vacuole. So this is, suppose it's vacuole enveloped by a small membrane, and inside you have got lot of fluid, and that fluid is called your cell sap. And this cell sap normally is more concentrated than water. Automatically you see, in the chemistry you have learned dilute solution and concentrated solution. In the dilute solution you have more water and less salt, and whereas in the concentrated solution you have more salt and less water. So in case of cell sap of the root, remember, I am sure you have understood what is cell sap. Cell sap is nothing but the solution, the liquid, the fluid present inside the vacuole. Now what is vacuole? Vacuole is one of the non-living part present in the cytoplasm, in every cytoplasm of the cell, okay, or in cytoplasm of every cell. So that is your vacuole. Inside the vacuole you have the cell sap. Cell sap is nothing but a fluid like substance present inside, which is more concentrated. Matlab, the solute is more and the solvent is less. Solvent is your liquid or the water, solute is nothing but the salt. So normally the solute plus solvent is equal to solution, or water plus salt is equal to the solution. So the concentration of solution in the cell sap is more than that of the soil. Which means soil में ज़्यादा पानी है, अंदर में कम पानी है, automatically it is dilute, and inside the cell sap it is concentrated. So the water moves very rapidly from the soil to the root. And the third reason why it is efficient is, that is, your root hair has thin cell wall. Normally every plant cell has got cell wall, okay, and cell membrane. Similarly, the root hair also has got cell wall and cell membrane. I repeat children, just like any other plant cell, the root hair also has got cell wall and cell membrane. So the cell wall of the difference between the cell wall of other plant cell and the root hair cell is, the cell wall of the root hair is very thin and easily permeable. So because of that, whatever water is there surrounding the root hair in the soil, it easily permeates into the root hair, and thus it goes into the epidermis, cortex, etc. Okay. So these are the three reasons why the root is efficient in absorbing water and mineral. Okay children. So right now we have dealt, what did we do? First we learned what is the function of the root. The function of the root is, it helps to fix a plant in the soil. Second function, it absorbs water and mineral. Okay. Second point what we learned is, why do we need water and mineral for plants? Okay. The plants need water and mineral for 4 main reasons. Number 1, all the transportation, be it salt, that is it may be phosphates, it may be nitrates, it may be sulfates, which are present in the soil and is absorbed and is being translocated or transported through water medium. Similarly, the minerals absorbed like calcium, potassium, chlorine, etc. is also transported through water medium. Also, the food prepared by the leaves, the aerial part, is brought and transported to different parts of the plant through water medium. So, thus it needs, okay, the plant needs water and mineral for these 4 purposes. Next is, we learnt what are the characteristics of the root that helps to absorb efficiently, or for absorption of water. What are the 3 characteristics the plants have, okay, especially the roots have, which makes it efficient to absorb water and mineral. Number 1, we learnt it has got large surface area. I said there are 2 types of root, tap root and fibrous roots. You just uproot the grass, which is a monocot. All the monocots have got fibrous roots, all the dicots have got tap roots. Okay. So, you pluck a grass, uproot a grass which is a monocot, you will have millions of roots arising from the base of the stem, and you put them all, then each of them will have root hair, put them all together, it covers kilometers. Similarly, you go to the tap root, uproot a balsam, okay, flower, plant, and then you just see you have millions of root hairs around your primary root, secondary root and tertiary roots. Put them together, it covers kilometers. So, thus in that surface area, going to the every minute part of the soil around the plant, it absorbs all the possible water present in and around there, translocating all of them up to the plant. Okay. Second, concentration of cell sap. I told you the difference between plant cell and animal cell is, you have the plant cell have got cell wall, the animal cells do not have cell wall. Similarly, the plant cells have got large vacuole, whereas the animal cells do not have, they have vacuoles but comparatively smaller vacuoles they have. Now, the vacuole is a non-living part of the plant cell, whereas the organelles are living part of the plant cell. Inside you have the cell sap, and that cell sap is more concentrated than the water present in the soil. Automatically in the soil you have plenty of water, whereas here less water, more salt is present. So, the movement of from more water to less water, so automatically the movement and absorption becomes more efficient. Third, the cell wall of the root hair is thin, very thin and easily permeable. So, the water easily passes through the root hair and then goes to different parts of the plant. So, we have finished 3 points. Next we go to very interesting part of the absorption of water, that is the real, a lot of questions comes. You have questions from here too, but the real chapter proper is this, that is mechanism involved in the absorption of water, or the process involved in the absorption of water by the roots. The various, it is very interesting, you will understand it nicely. The different mechanisms or the different process involved in the absorption of water by roots are: number 1, imbibition, number 2, diffusion, number 3, osmosis. These are the 3 main mechanisms. Under osmosis you have so many subtopics, we will deal that one by one. Let me go to the main ones first. Remember, there are 3 main processes involved in the absorption of water and mineral by roots. Number 1, you have the imbibition, number 2, you have the diffusion, number 3, you have the osmosis. Okay. Now, first we go to what is imbibition. Now, imbibition is nothing but the absorption of water by living or dead cells due to surface attraction. Remember, the absorption of water, it may be by living cell or it may be by dead cells due to surface attraction. or even semi-dry cells due to surface attraction is called imbibition. Let me give you an example. You take the door. What happens during the wooden door? During rainy season, you have difficulty in opening it. It gets expanded. It's difficult to sometimes lock, even to put the bolt, and you have to pull it very strong to put the bolt. It's because right now the wooden door was living some time back, but now it is in a dead form. It is a wood, but it contains dead cells. It's made of wood, but it contains dead cells. Okay, so it has the ability to absorb water because it is a dry in nature. Automatically, when the water is available, or the water particles falls on it, the moisture comes on it, it absorbs water, it gets expanded. So imagine any dry part, you just pour water in a dry part, immediately it absorbs. Okay, so the absorption of water by either dead cells or by living cells. Now living cells example is your seed. Okay, seed is living or dead? It is living. Wood, it's made up of dead cells, but your seed is made up of living cells. So I told you the absorption of water by living or dead cells due to surface attraction, but both are dry in nature. The seed is also, it contains living cells, but it dry in nature. It contains dead cells, it's dry in nature. So they have a kind of a desire to absorb water. So why? There is an attraction, surface attraction created towards water. So automatically when the water is available, it easily absorbs and gets expanded. Okay, and that is called your imbibition. I repeat, imbibition is absorption of water by living or dead cells due to, remember this word is important, due to surface attraction is called imbibition. I am sure you have got it very clearly. And the significance of imbibition is it helps in the germination of seeds. You put the seed in the soil, the seed got ruptures and the cotyledon and the new plant comes up. You have the rhizoids and then the plumule. Okay, I have taught you in the class 9. So automatically the new plant comes out only by rupturing of the seed coat, and that rupturing of the seed coat is brought about by imbibition, that is absorbing water due to surface attraction. Okay, so one of the significance is the imbibition helps in the germination of seeds. So that's about the imbibition. Next we go to diffusion. Remember children, in imbibition we have only water. In imbibition we have only absorption of water by living or dead cells due to surface attraction is called imbibition. Diffusion is all three states, be it solid, be it liquid, be it gas. Diffusion is movement, remember, movement of the molecules. The molecules may be solid, the molecules may be liquid, the molecules may be gases. So the movement of molecules from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration is called diffusion. Remember, pay attention. The movement of molecules, I have not told water, or I didn't tell solid, I didn't tell liquid, I didn't tell gas, I didn't tell water or sand or salt or any gas. I have said the word molecule. This word is a common term. It may be water molecule, it may be liquid, it may be water molecule, it may be solid molecule, it may be gaseous molecule. So the state of molecule may be solid, liquid or gas. So the movement of molecules from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration is called your diffusion. Take for an example, take potassium permanganate. The color of the potassium permanganate is purple in color. Take that pinch of potassium permanganate, put it in a bucket of water. You will see the total water turning into purple color because it has diffused from one end to another end. So in one point it was concentrated, so it has diffused. So the movement of molecules, it may be, now here what I have put is your solid, the salt. I have put it has diffused to entire the whole bucket of water. So, the movement of molecules, it may be, remember children, in case of diffusion you have to use the word molecule because it can be gaseous, it can be liquid, it can be solid. From the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration, जहाँ पे ज़्यादा है वहाँ से जहाँ पे कम है वहाँ पे वो लोग चले जाते हैं. Similarly, you pour this, you pour just water, automatically it will rush through the area where there is no water. So, it moves from the more concentrated area to less concentrated area. Similarly, you take the this one incense stick, you burn from one corner. Suppose I am burning an incense stick, agarbatti, okay. I am just standing there and having the incense stick with me, but you will have the entire room having the scent of that incense stick. You know why? Because it has moved from this area. Suppose I am holding the incense stick here and standing. Now, incense stick, it gives the wreath, the nice scent, smoke, scented smoke, and it diffuses to every part of the room. So, the movement of this gas from here, it was highly concentrated, but it has gone to every part of the room. So, the movement of molecules from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration is called diffusion. Now, this is your incense stick is for example for gaseous, okay, diffusion of gases. K-manophore is for diffusion of your solid particles from the region of high concentration to the lower concentration. You just pour water in an area, one bucket of water, it flows to the area of lower concentration. So, this is diffusion. I repeat, the definition for diffusion is movement of molecule within the bracket, it may be solid, it may be liquid, it may be gases from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration is called diffusion. Next we go to osmosis. Now, osmosis is the movement of, now osmosis is only water, imbibition is only water, but diffusion may be solid, liquid or gas. Now, coming to osmosis, it is very important because most of the experiments and the questions, lot of them, they do ask questions from imbibition and diffusion, but you have plenty of content for osmosis. Try to understand, try to listen. Osmosis is, it is very easy, movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Now, the difference between diffusion and osmosis is, in diffusion you have from the region of high concentration to the lower concentration, okay, here, but in diffusion, but you have water, solid and gas, whereas here only the water molecule. Remember, in diffusion you have all three states of molecules of all three states, but here only the liquid, mainly only the water, not even liquid, only the water, because you cannot take oil into consideration, you cannot take alcohol into consideration, you cannot take this, only water. So, the movement of water molecule. In diffusion you have from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration. Here also you have from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration, but what is very important is through a semi-permeable membrane. If you remember in the first chapter, when we learned about the cell wall, cell membrane, we have said the cell membrane is semi-permeable in nature. Semi matlab half, permeable matlab it allows to enter. The cell wall allows to enter everything, lekin the cell membrane allows only the water molecule to enter, because the size of the cell membrane is, the size of the pore of the cell membrane is as big as that of water molecule. So, that is why it allows only the water molecule to enter into the cell. I repeat children, osmosis definition is the movement of water molecule from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. I repeat, osmosis is defined as the movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. The word semi-permeable is very important. and in osmosis only water molecule. I told you in diffusion you have all three states of molecule, there higher to lower, here also higher to lower, but here only water molecule from higher to lower. Another important point here is added is your semi-permeable membrane, because osmosis takes place only in living cells. Next we go to the different subtopics of osmosis. Okay, it's very easy. I am sure you learned what is osmosis. Okay. Now imagine that is, okay, when I give you the examples you will understand it fully. You have a thing called endo-osmosis and exo-osmosis. Endo matlab inward, exo matlab outward. Okay, endo matlab inward and exo matlab outward. So endo is moving in, exo is moving out. Okay. So remember now the definition. The inward movement of water molecule from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called endo-osmosis. Okay. Remember, the inward movement of water molecule from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called endo-osmosis. And exo, I told you, exo meaning outward movement. So, the outward movement, okay, of water molecule, the outward movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called exo-osmosis. Okay. Now, normally the imagine a cell. One cell you have here, another cell you have here. Okay. Now, you have plenty of water here. In this cell, it's full, it's in a turgid state. This does not have so much. Okay. So, automatically the water moves from cell A to cell B. So, for this cell, it is endo-osmosis taking place, because from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration. So, for this cell, it is endo-osmosis. Whereas for this cell it is exo. ये cell से निकल जा रहा है, इसलिए इसके लिए ये exo-osmosis, the movement of water from high concentration to the lower concentration. But for cell B, endo-osmosis is happening, but for cell A, exo-osmosis is happening. Okay, I repeat. Here you have two cells. The cell A has got plenty of water and cell B does not have water, and osmosis is movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called your osmosis. Now, endo-osmosis matlab inward movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Now, you have two cells here, cell A and cell B. For cell B, it is endo-osmosis, but for cell A, it is exo-osmosis. Okay. So, exo-osmosis, the outward movement of water molecule from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Suppose let us take, ये वाला एक रूम है, वहाँ पे एक रूम है, यहाँ पे पूरा पानी भरा है. Okay. यहाँ पे दीवार है, दीवार is your semi-permeable membrane. ये वाला room is more water, in that room no water. So, through there is so many holes. Okay. So, it is moving from this room to that room. So, E room के लिए it is exo-osmosis happening, because from the region of high concentration to outward movement is happening. लेकिन for that room endo-osmosis is happening, क्योंकि ये room से वहाँ पे उन लोग receive कर रहा है, अंदर उनका room में अंदर आ रहा है. Okay, so for that room endo-osmosis, लेकिन बीच में दोनों के बीच में क्या है, semi-permeable membrane. So the outward movement from region of high concentration to lower concentration is called your exo-osmosis. But endo-osmosis is for that cell inward movement from the region of high concentration to lower concentration. What is most important in osmosis is your semi-permeable membrane. Now children, now before I go to your turgidity and flaccidity, plasmolysis and deplasmolysis, let me tell you about this, an experiment you will understand better. Now this is called, okay, an experiment on osmosis, an experiment on osmosis. I told you osmosis is movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane semi-permeable membrane is called your osmosis. So, to make you understand better, let us have an experiment. You have a beaker filled with water, just a simple water, okay, you have taken. Then you have fixed thistle funnel. Inside the thistle funnel के अंदर में हम लोग का सुक्रोज सोल्यूशन है, ओके. यू हैव सॉल्ट सोल्यूशन और शुगर सोल्यूशन. चीनी को ले लो, पानी में लगाओ, ज़्यादा सा चीनी पानी में लगाओ and you get the sugar solution, or take the salt, put it in water, you have a salt solution. So, you can take either salt solution or sugar solution. Here we have taken sucrose solution. So, remember children, you have inside you have sucrose solution, outside you have only water. So, automatically the outer one is having dilute solution or more water and no salt. In fact, no solute at all, only the water is there, or you can maybe put just an inch of salt, but here we have taken just water. Inside you have salt solution or here we have sucrose solution. So, automatically the water is, let us take A, inside let us take B. So, the movement of water will be from A to B, because osmosis is movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration, मतलब जहाँ पे पानी ज़्यादा है वहाँ से जहाँ पे पानी नहीं है और पानी कम है, through whom? Through semi-permeable membrane. So, you know, this thistle funnel at the base is tied with a cellophane membrane which is semi-permeable in nature. यहाँ पे नीचे we have got a cellophane membrane which is semi-permeable in nature. So, here there is a membrane called cellophane membrane which is semi-permeable in nature. So, automatically यहाँ पे पानी ज़्यादा है, यहाँ पे पानी कम है, it's a sucrose solution, salt solution, sucrose solution, not salt, sucrose solution. So, the movement of water molecule from A it goes to B, because the definition is movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration, मतलब जहाँ पे पानी ज़्यादा है, to the region where there is less water. So, automatically you have the water is moving towards a thistle funnel through this semi-permeable membrane, and that initially level of sucrose solution was up to here, लेकिन 1-2 घंटा के बाद after 1 or 2 hours the level has gone up to here, okay. From this region it has risen, the level of solution, sucrose solution has risen because the endo-osmosis has taken place in the thistle funnel. I am sure you got it now, okay. This is called osmoscope. I repeat the experiment to make you clear. Osmosis is the movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane, okay. The same setup we have done. We have the water being high concentrated, matlab more water, okay. The dilute solution is called highly concentrated in terms of water. यहाँ पे पानी ज़्यादा है, so dilute solution is highly concentrated in water but less salt. So, from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration, or you can say from the region of dilute solution to concentrated solution, okay. So, यहाँ पे more water, here there is less water, salt is there, salt solution is there, automatically the movement of water goes from beaker to thistle funnel through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, this is to prove that the osmosis takes place through cell membrane and from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration. Remember, the movement is only water molecule, the solute does not move. Okay, the solute remains wherever it is dissolved. It is a water that goes from A to B or B to A. Okay. Next, we have another good experiment which will clearly tell you, make you understand how osmosis is taking place. Now look here, I have a big circle and a small dotted appearance. The dotted appearance refers to water or solvent, okay, and the big circle refers to your solute. Now here you have salt solution, this side you have 5% salt solution and this side you have 20% salt solution, meaning you have dissolved 5 gram of salt in 1 liter of water. The 5% refers to 5 gram of salt you have dissolved in 1 liter of water. How many liters? 1 liter of water. Similarly, you have dissolved 20 gram of salt in 1 liter of water. So, here you have the solution 5%, here you have the solution 20%. So, here it is dilute, here it is concentrated. Here there is more water, here there is less water. And we told you the movement of water molecule from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, or from the region where there is more water to the region where there is less water through whom? Through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Now tell me, the water will move from, now this is A and this is B. So automatically, because the liquid is more, the solvent is more, solute is less, automatically the water will move from A. Remember, water will move from both the sides, क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी पानी है, यहाँ पे भी पानी है. So यहाँ से भी पानी जाएगा, यहाँ से भी पानी जाएगा. लेकिन the net movement will be greater from A to B than B to A. Remember, water will move from here also, थोड़ा थोड़ा यहाँ से भी आएगा, क्योंकि वहाँ पे भी पानी है. Because through the pore the water molecule will go, but the movement will be greater from A to B than B to A, because as per the definition, movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Okay. So, that is about, so after some time, you know, when the level of water will be same from on both the sides, automatically the net movement will be, there will be no movement of water, it will remain to stand still. Now, this is another good example for osmosis. Then we have one more example for potato osmoscope. It is called potato osmoscope, meaning you take a potato, cut them into half, at the base also you have a small cut, okay, get them into this shape. After that you scoop it off, take a spoon, nicely scoop it off, make a cavity. I repeat children, potato osmoscope is where the osmosis experiment is done with the help of a beaker and a potato. Here what you need is a beaker, water molecule and sucrose solution and a potato. So, you are taking a potato, cut into 2 halves and you cut at the base. You take a potato, cut into 2 halves, okay. Then at the base also you cut and make it flat so that it sits in the water. Then you scoop it off. You scoop it off nicely. So, you have a cavity here where you can put the solution. So, here you are taking 15% sucrose solution. So, this same thing is brought and kept in a beaker of water. So, inside the potato, okay, in the scooped region, the cavity of the potato, you are taking 15% sucrose solution, meaning you are dissolving 15 gram of sucrose, nothing but chini, the sugar in the water. So, dissolving 15 gram of sugar in water is called 15% sucrose solution. You are keeping it here, pouring it here. The beaker is containing just the plain water. Keep the setup for 1 or 2 hours. At the end of the 2 hours, you will see the level of solution will rise to from A to B, because the endo-osmosis, the movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the region of lower concentration, because it has cell membrane which is semi-permeable in nature, has gone from A to B. So, this is called your osmosis.